And a very good morning to you, and welcome to the Dawnbreak devotion this wonderful Monday morning, the day that the Lord has made for us to rejoice and be glad. Indeed, He has been a faithful God, and I believe that we all have a testimony of what the Lord has done for us, watching over us since the last time we were together until today, allowing us to have this wonderful day. I believe that our hearts are filled with a lot of gratitude this wonderful morning. And my good name is Joanique. By the grace of God, I'm going to be your host this wonderful morning from now till 9 a.m. So please do keep me company right here, 90.7 Truth FM. This is where truth is worth finding. And today I want us to address something which I believe is not new to us. It's something that at one point in life, maybe you have struggled with, and not necessarily struggled with, but you have had a concern over. And this is stagnation. I want us to talk about stagnation today. And I was looking, of course, doing my research, looking at the synonyms or some of the words, similar words that I used to describe the word stagnation. We have inaction, inactiveness, we have inactivity, and not in motion. All right. So stagnation, inaction, inactiveness, inactivity, not in motion. And it is so interesting because at times you are in a season that is just moving slowly. Not necessarily that you are, you're experiencing stagnation in that season of your life, but at times it's just a slow season. I ever had someone saying, I'm having a slow day. Not that it's not at it has 34 hours as opposed to 24, but it's just that you're just having a slow day. Things are not moving as you would have wanted them to, or as you had envisioned them moving. So it's the same thing. At times you're in a season where you feel like things are moving a bit slow than usual. And it's not necessarily that you're stagnant, but it's just that is just the season that you're in. When it's raining, you can't move as fast as when the sun is up and you're able to see where you're supposed to move, but when it's raining and the drainage system is clogged, you don't even know where to jump and where not to step. You might find yourself in the river of water, find yourself somewhere where you don't want to be. So seasons are different. And that's the same thing, that, being in a season, in a rainy season, doesn't necessarily mean that you're experiencing stagnation. You're just in a different season. So this means, especially for us as believers, we need to discern the times and seasons that we're in. We need to identify when you're in a season of learning, when you're in a season where things are just moving slowly, or in a season where things are moving a little bit fast, and you're wondering, so what is this season all about? Is it that I've become fast all of a sudden? No, it's just a season. And it doesn't mean that when you're in that season where things are moving a bit slow, kuna ka traffic pale mbele kidogo, I mean, it doesn't mean that you become less of a person, you become less of who you are. When a Range Rover is stuck in traffic, it doesn't become less of a Range Rover because, we talk about its speed, we talk about, its efficiency and all these other things. I'm just using it as an example. Everybody wants to talk about their car and the brand and the make and the horsepower and so on and so forth. Just because it's stuck in traffic, it doesn't mean that all these other things and all these wonderful qualities that we know of this particular car, we throw them out the window. And many a times, when we get to those seasons where we're just stuck in traffic, it's not that every potential and ability and skill that is in the inside of us is not being seen, and it's still not there with us. Like God has taken away that gift and God has taken away that skill. It's just that we are stuck in traffic. Take, for example, a mountain. When a mountain is dormant and there's no activity happening around it, no one can tell. No one can tell what is happening in the inside of the mountain until we start feeling some activity. And whether it's a volcanic mountain or not, just because it's dormant, it doesn't mean that it becomes less of a volcanic mountain. This is where we open our geography books and remember that part that we read in school. Just because it's dormant, just because it's quiet, just because it has been quiet for years and years, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden now this one, it's no longer a volcanic mountain, this one is just a hill. No, it's still a volcanic mountain. And the day you will discover it is still a volcanic mountain, it is the day that one quiet morning, that it was just a normal day, that is the day the mountain decides to erupt. And you can feel the volcanic activity around it, and you'll be like, yo, it was just quiet. It was in that season where it was just quiet and things were moving slow. But it doesn't mean that the potential it has become irrelevant. And many of us, that's where we get to. You get to a place where you're in a season where things are moving slow, and you feel like every skill, every ability, every gift, every talent that you have has become irrelevant. No, you're just in a season. And that is why you need to discern and understand, which season am I in? So when you understand your journey of salvation as an individual, because at the end of the day, everybody's journey is different. There are people who got born again and they went through a dark path, a tough season, There are others who got born again and they were swimming in milk and honey. For them, everything was looking fair. They were like, oh my goodness, salvation is this easy? It wasn't easy for everyone. The others who had to fight their way into Christianity. The others who had to fight their way into maintaining their stand as believers. So everybody's journey is different. Just because you got born again and you had the right discipleship and you had a good mentor and you were able to walk that journey with a lot of simplicity, it doesn't mean that was the reality for everyone. It's just like, for example, others, for example, they start having challenges as soon as they get married. It doesn't mean that just because you got married and you didn't have challenges the first 2 years of your marriage, that is how it's supposed to be. No. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey is different. We're all moving towards the same direction, but everybody is on a different path. Everyone is moving at a different speed, and everyone is experiencing different, I won't call them challenges, but different lessons in this particular journey. So with God, every situation has a silver lining. And that's the one thing I love about God, that even in the middle of a challenge, there's always a silver lining. Even in that path, in that season when you don't understand why things are moving slow, according to you, because things are moving slow according to our speed, not the speed of God. When God looks at everything and Joanique, she's just where I want her to be. I don't want her to be anywhere else. She is exactly where I want her to be. I feel like I'm supposed to be miles and miles away. But God is looking at me and thinking, you are where I want you to be. Acha, punguza pressure. You are where I want you to be. So you find that life is not moving according to our speed, not the speed of God. And when you look keenly, even at that season, when I feel like I'm not moving, there's a silver lining. Even in a season of stagnation, where you feel you're not in motion, you're supposed to be moving, but you're not moving. When you look keenly, you will see a silver lining. You will see that there's something that God has prevented me from encountering. There's something that God has shielded me from in this season where I have felt like I was stagnant. But in real sense, God was actually shielding me from something. God was actually, keeping me safe and preparing me to ensure that I have created enough capacity for the next season that I'm stepping into. Personally, I've become very keen of seasons when I don't feel like I'm moving. Seasons when I don't feel like I'm progressing, I become very keen, because I know after that, when I jump into the next season, we are sprinting, we are moving, we don't have time to look back and look at who we've left behind. So I'm very keen when I get into a season where I feel like things are moving slow, I feel like I'm not in motion, I feel like God is just moving at a snail's speed. You know those seasons? When I'm in that season personally, I take it very seriously, because I know that I am creating capacity and I'm building momentum for the next season. The next season will need me to be strong. It will need me to have energy. It will need me to not have a moment to take a breather. We are moving kwenda. So the same way I have been nimekuwa nikirelax kwa hii season. Kwa hii season imekuwa ikimove slow according to me. that season is for building momentum. So don't fold your hands and say, oh, things are moving slow in my life. Oh, since I've been trusting God for this and this now, he hasn't done, so I just need to wait. I'm waiting upon him, because of them that wait upon the Lord. No, that's true. Them that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. But again, in that season of waiting, what are you doing? Are you building capacity? Are you creating momentum for yourself? Because when you move into the next season, hakutakuwa na time ya kurelax and to fold your hands. You won't have time to say, I am waiting. It is moving. So even in that season where you feel like you're stagnant, when you look keenly, there's a silver lining. Allow me to capture scripture right here in Joel chapter 2, 25 all the way till 27. And this is what the word of God says. Allow me to read this in the NIV version. And it says, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten, the great locust and the young locust and the other locust and the other swarm and the locust swarm, my great army that I sent among you. You will have plenty to eat until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders in you. Never again will my people be ashamed. Then you will know that I am in Israel, that I am the Lord your God, and that there is no other. Never again will my people be ashamed. So in that season where you feel like you're stagnant, you feel like you've lost things, because when you're in a place where you're not able to move, it means that the resources around you are quickly getting depleted. You're not able to work for them, because you see, when you're in motion, you're able to work for something. But when you're not in motion, you're just in one place, you can easily deplete the resources that are around you, from money to people, time, name it. The things that are around you that are supposed to help you in that season, that are supposed to come to your aid in that season, you deplete them very fast if you're not moving. But God promises that he's going to compensate us, that he will repay us all these years. Those years that you felt you were stagnant, those years and seasons that you felt like you lost time and you're not able to redeem time, it shall be repaid back. All those years that the locusts have eaten, and the great locust and the young locust, name it, whatever it is, years that you have spent in a place of stagnation because of maybe, say, your health condition, because of your career, you felt like you're just stuck. You don't feel like you're moving anymore. You don't feel like you're progressing anymore. Those years will be compensated. So it's not about, many of us, we want to quickly get out of that season where we feel stuck. And we're like, oh, I don't want to stay in this comfort zone. At times, enjoy the comfort zone. I'm not saying every season in life, but at times enjoy the comfort zone, because the next season, there won't be any comfort. It will be moving. You're always working. You're always in motion. So it's not that you remain in your comfort zone where you're comfortable, but God promises to restore and compensate you. So in every situation, remember, even if you don't remember anything about anything that we've shared today, just remember that in every season, in every path in life, as long as you're walking with God, there's always a silver lining. So in the season you're in right now, if you look keenly, because at times you look for God and you don't find him in that season, you're asking God, have you left me? Why do I feel like I'm alone? You're not. You're never alone. Never. That's the word. You are never alone. So look keenly, and trust me, you will see the silver lining even in the season that you're in.